Wow, hold my breath. That's right, finance, getting it done.
Good. So how's it been, John Rhys? First 3 days of practice. How the guys looking? How have you been doing out there?
It's been really good. It's been a lot of fun getting back out there, with the guys. I guess one thing you realize pretty quick is it's pretty warm in Florida, as well as it's pretty warm in Mississippi. But I think the heat's a little different here. But first 3 days have been good, going well.
So you have that SEC experience. How do you bring that to this conference as well this year?
I think football's football, no matter what conference you're in. And so I think it's all about execution, whatever you can do to help the team. And so that's what I'm here to do.
What'd you work on during the summer to improve your game?
I think in the spring, the one thing I really wanted to focus in on was protections, and I think I did that really well. Not really well, but got better at it. And I think over the summer, a lot of the passing game stuff, working on a lot of the timing with the receivers that were here and the receivers that came in. And so I think that's the two areas that I've worked on the most.
Now, how do you feel like your skill set fits within the offense that Gus Malzahn is trying to run here at UCF?
I think Coach Malzahn is the type of offensive mind that can use any skill set, and so I feel like my skill set is pretty unique with my running ability, and I think he's had success in the past with Nick Marshall and guys like that that have similar abilities to me. And so just knowing that he can scheme up plays that are fit to me is pretty comfortable.
Manning Passing Academy.
Manning Passing Academy? Yeah. That was really good, a lot of fun. I had the opportunity to go my sophomore year, but because of COVID, they had to cancel it, and so that was a bummer. But to be able to go back there and spend some time with those guys was really cool.
How important was it this summer just to work on passing and timing and chemistry with the receivers? I know the coaches could be with you a little bit more this year. How important was that for your development?
I think it was a really big deal. Anytime that you can get out there with the receivers and be on the same page and get on the same page with them, I think it's a really big deal. With the coaches or without the coaches, you know what I mean? I think it's one of those things that when everybody's on the same page, it makes the world of a difference. You know what I mean? When you've thrown to a guy hundreds and hundreds of times, it makes it easier to throw to him when there's one-on-one coverage out there. You know what I mean? So it's been good to be out there with him.
So about that transition
without the daily reps of playing quarterback.
One more time.
When you go through a season without playing quarterback and getting those reps consistently, what's the biggest thing that when you step back in those shoes, you're like, oh, yeah, it's different?
So played quarterback my whole life, and so I've done it since I've been a little kid. Obviously played other positions as well, as when you're a little kid, you play both sides of the ball, you do a lot of things. But being separated from a year, you kind of realize how much you love it, you know what I mean? My heart's always been there since I've been growing up. I love playing quarterback. And when it got kind of taken away from me in a sense, or when I didn't get to do it for a year, I think the biggest thing for me was, man, I miss it. And so having the opportunity to come back and do it again was really, really amazing for me. But when you get out there, yeah, it's moving quick on you just because you haven't done it in a year. But once you do it a couple days in a row, week or two, the more you do it, the more it slows down.
Now, JRP, you had an excellent spring game. You threw 4 touchdowns as well. How do you bring that into fall camp now?
I think you build on momentum. I think in football it's a game of momentum, but I think the spring is a long time away from the fall. When you go to the summer standpoint. But just trying to continue to work every day.
You've been in a quarterback battle before. How are you using that right now, and what have you learned from quarterback battles in the past?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in a quarterback battle is it's all about competition, right? And I think competition brings out the best in people. It makes you want to work harder, makes you want to stay up late and study more, wake up earlier and go harder at it. And so, having done it before, I guess it's an experience to say that I've done it, you know what I mean? But I think the biggest piece of it is the competition point of it, and which I love. I've always been a competitor since I've been a little kid. I remember when I would lose to my dad in Madden when I was a kid, I would start crying just because I was so competitive. But I love competition, and so being in a quarterback battle is fun for me.
What has impressed you? Though? I mean, obviously you guys are studying together, you're with each other, I'm sure, every single day.
I don't really know how to compare it to something because you're with a guy almost 24/7, especially during fall camp, you know what I mean? And so you're doing everything together. Then when you have a class together, on top of that, you're doing a lot of stuff together. I mean, it's like I guess it would be like playing your friend in a video game. Like when you lose, you're pissed, but when you win, you're happy. But at the end of the day, that's still your guy. You know.
What has impressed you about working with these wide receivers, and who has stood out?
A lot of weapons, and I can name names, but there's a full list of them, you know. And so different guys do different things better, just like any receiving core. But it raises your eyebrows at the level of talent that's in that room.
Speaking about talent offensively, when you look at receiver, you look at running back, O-line experienced, you got a lot of weapons around you. How good can this offense be this year?
We're going to be special. I think we're going to score a lot of points. And I think this team is pretty special in the aspect of we have a lot of talent on this team, as I'm sure you know. But like I said, it all comes down to execution, game planning and execution. And so I'm excited to see once the season rolls around how well we're going to do.
Where do you feel your chemistry is at with the wide receivers?
I think it's good. But going through fall camp, all it's going to do is get better, you know. And the more you, like I said, the more you can get out there with those guys, throw 100 balls to them, that you feel more comfortable than when you don't. You know what I mean? And so, to answer the question, I think we're good right now, but we can definitely get better.
What would it mean to you to be named the starting quarterback of the team?
It would be awesome. It's been my dream, you know, to be starting quarterback at the highest level, play baseball at the highest level. It's been my dream since I've been a little kid. And so, if I would have had that opportunity, I'd be really blessed to have that.
Speaking of Plumlee, you know, you're wearing the number 10, and number 10 here at UCF is a pretty big deal, you know, Mackenzie Norton. Have you had any relationship with him? Yeah, I've gotten to talk to him a lot, and we actually threw a couple times, and he has a lot of knowledge of the game, a lot of knowledge of playing quarterback position, and he's got to share that knowledge with me some. And so he's been a really, really good resource, just somebody to text back and forth with, somebody to get some pointers from. He's been really good. Hopefully I can wear the number 10 the way he would want me to.
You also had Dante Culpepper visit you guys, and you know, Mike, you mentioned earlier how he was drafted by the New York Yankees, so a little bit of, you know, that baseball experience like you have. What was it like to be able to talk to him, especially, you know, given that he has that experience?
Really, really neat. You know, a guy like that, the guy was on the front of Madden. You know what I mean? Like you're a little kid, you playing Madden and dreaming of being that guy, and then all of a sudden you get to listen to him speak here at UCF and go to the school that he went to. It's really, really cool to get to hear from him.
Speaking of baseball, your former team, Ole Miss, had a fantastic year, won the College World Series. What was your perspective? That was a little bit bittersweet, a little bit, because you were just on that team a few months ago.
Yeah. I'm so proud of those guys. Unbelievable. Those are my guys. I love everybody on that team. Coach Bianco, Coach Clem, Coach Laff, Coach Cleary, all those guys. I'm really, really proud for them. But selfishly, it's like, man, that really stinks that you couldn't be a part of it. But I know God has a plan.
What does seize the moment mean for you right now?
I think take every opportunity you're given. You know, I think a lot of the times in this deal, you can take for granted going to fall camp. You can take for granted getting to get up and go to a quarterback meeting at UCF. You know, when those days when you're tired, when it's day 13, when it's day 15, it's like my body's hurting, I'm tired, I want to sleep in. But 10-year-old John Rhys would kick myself out of the bed like, hey man, you get to do this. This is your dream since you've been a little kid. So I think seize the moment for me is take the opportunities and don't take it for granted.
So who on the team?
I think at the end of the day it's football. You know what I mean? I think you can put pressure on that word. You can put that word on it. I think you can look at stuff through a magnifying glass, but at the end of the day it's football. You know, and I love playing football, and I have since I've been a little kid. And so when I go out there, I like to have fun, play loose, not try to be so uptight about stuff, and do it at the highest level.
How's the competition with the defense? Does that make you any better this fall camp?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are some really, really good competitors. The tenacity over there is awesome. To see the energy on that sideline when they make a play is cool, and especially when you can give it back to them and kind of give it back to them, it makes it a lot of fun too. Unbelievable talent over there as well, and so I'm really excited to see what they.
Is there any DB you look forward to just cooking in practice, who maybe talks a lot?
You said DB?
Yeah, DB.
Kobe Perry he likes to talk a lot, just so, and it makes it fun when you got a guy that's really vocal like him. And so and obviously Newt as well is a really vocal guy. The more vocal they are, I seem to have a lot more fun going against them. And so I think that kind of makes I guess you can put pressure on it. They make you want to be better because, hey man, I can't have this guy talking to me when we're doing this thing. I can't have him holding this route over me that I missed the throw on. And so it makes it a lot more fun when guys are vocal over there for sure.
So who on the team can do the best Gus Malzahn impression? There's got to be somebody. There got to be somebody.
Best Gus Malzahn impression. I feel like everybody. I feel like everybody has a little bit of impression they can do of him, because his mannerisms are just for him. He's the only one that does them, And so, but I sit right beside Kobe Hudson in the meetings, and so sometimes right before he walks in, Coach Gus always starts off a meeting with, "Okay, all right, guys." That's how he says. That's why he gets everybody's attention. And so Kobe he'll nudge me and say, "Okay, all right, guys." And sure enough, Coach will walk in and say, "Okay, all right, guys." And I always kind of chuckle at it because I think it's pretty funny.
Last one here, then we're going to switch.
John, you mentioned that you take seizing the moment and taking opportunities. You had the opportunity to be on both the baseball team and the football team. So what would you say? Is there a little bit of a difference between John Rhys, the baseball player, and John Rhys, the football player? And how do you move between them, or how does it stay the same?
Yeah. I've been doing it since I've been a little kid. I try to be the same guy no matter where I am. I try to be me in all scenarios. But been balancing since I've been a little kid. Been doing both. I mean, I think a lot of little kids around the country are playing basketball, football, baseball, soccer, doing it all. And so balancing that piece is in college it's the same, but you're just doing it with a lot better athletes, and so you have to be better at your craft, right? And so what I usually do, what my routine usually is during football season, I'll usually try to go over there once a week and swing in the cages. Nothing crazy, just enough to keep the rust off the swing. And so when baseball comes around, I'm not so far behind that I can catch up, And then usually in spring, I usually try to come over here and catch some meetings just so I can stay mentally sharp and throw the football around a little bit as well. And so that's what I did at Ole Miss, and that's what I plan to do here as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, John Rhys.
Thanks, guys. God bless.